Dr. Udi Levy is the former head of Mossad's Economic Warfare Division. Today, he is a senior researcher for the Jerusalem Institute of Strategy and Security. Welcome and thank you for being here with us at the Media Line.
It's my pleasure.
A decade ago, you were heading a special task force in the Mossad to track terror money. Can you share with us what you discovered and what did you do with the information?
First of all, we started our investigation regarding Hamas and Islamic Jihad, the financial network, in the mid of the 1995, when I still have an officer in the Israeli IDF, and I served as a special advisor to the governor in the West Bank. Then I started to investigate the financial activity of the terrorist organization, especially Hamas. It was amazing to discover what they built. It's bringing me back now more than 25 years ago when we started to reveal how much money Hamas is bringing to the territory and what they are doing with that money. And I have to admit that nobody understood it in the beginning. We concentrated on the military wing of the Hamas, and nobody put attention about the civil infrastructure. And for the civil infrastructure, we're speaking about schools, hospitals, all the services that the population need. They need millions of dollars, and the money flow very easily to the territory. And it was very difficult to convince even the Israeli military or Israeli security agency how much is it important. In 2001, it's the first time that our prime minister, I'm speaking about Ariel Sharon, decided that we have to make a reorganization and to took the issue of the foiling of terror financing as one of the main issues. It has to be one of the best strategy of Israel to fight against terrorism. So he took the decision to establish Harpoon, and he asked from General, fortunately he passed away, he's like my father, Meir Dagan, to be the head. And the Meir Dagan, that I know him for many, many years, took me with him to manage this operation. So we started in 2001, and we start to reveal how the system is working. And so our investigation regarding the financial infrastructure of Hamas starting early to 2014. But in 2014, what has happened is that States of Israel decided to change a little bit the strategy and to allow to enter money to Gaza Strip, to Hamas, instead of the former policy that it was to fight against the financial infrastructure. So in that period, we came to the prime minister and tried to explain the huge infrastructure that Hamas has. And but because the strategy was different, and he decided that it's more important now kind of containment policy or to bring money to Gaza, and we will get more, let's say, quiet. But we knew very well about the infrastructure. We knew very well about the investment company. We knew very well the money that going from Iran, from Qatar, from other places. We didn't surprise. We knew. We worked very, very hard to convince the European country and United States to support us in our campaign against Hamas. It was very difficult. It took years to convince them. And after 2014, it became more difficult because we changed our policy. So if you ask me, we knew a lot, and even today we know a lot about the financial infrastructure, but this is a policy, and it wasn't one of the main priority for our government for long year to deal with Hamas and especially the financial infrastructure. So unfortunately, we see the results today.
Do you think that if something had been done then, the war would look different today?
Very difficult answer because I'm not objective. Yes, yes. Of course, I'm especially today when I see what Hamas did in Gaza. I feel so disappointed because undoubtedly that it's done because the huge amount of money which flow to Gaza Strip. Without it, you cannot do it. You cannot build 500-kilometer of tunnels without a huge amount of money. You cannot produce so much rockets without money. You cannot pay salary, not to the civil servant and not to the military wing, without a lot of money. So the money finally led Hamas to build the infrastructure that today, unfortunately, our soldiers facing every day, and we are losing the life of our soldier. I'm totally at least believe that if we had another policy and continue to fight against terror financing, I can't say that war is not happening between us and Hamas, but undoubtedly their capability was totally different. So yes, I'm very disappointed.
Do you have an estimate of Hamas's annual budget before the war and whether this budget has been reduced to the war or its income remains the same?
If we are trying to understand exactly what is the budget of the Hamas, it's a little bit difficult because Hamas and Gaza Strip is one unit. What does it mean? That everything that goes to Gaza Strip, if it's international assistance, if it's UNRWA budget, if it's the tax that they collect from the people going directly to the Hamas, and we are speaking about something around $1 billion every year. And to that, we have to add the Qataris assistance, the formal assistance, and there is informal that's going to the Hamas leadership in Qatar with a suitcase or bank account. It's money which going to the charities of the Qataris charities and move against to the Hamas. We have to speak about the Iranian money. We have to speak about the investment companies of the Hamas all over the world. We have to speak about the charities that collecting millions of dollars every year all over the world. Here we are coming to something around $2.5 billion every year. This is unbelievable amount, especially when we're speaking about Gaza. Now, what is going on today? Of course, there is a little bit change. It's a little bit change because the money now is not flowing, let's say, easily to Gaza Strip because the war. But we know that there is humanitarian assistance that's going to Gaza Strip. Unfortunately, Hamas is totally controlled about this humanitarian assistance. The humanitarian assistance are not going to the people. What is going on that the Hamas people taking this humanitarian, stole it, and sold it to the population in a very, very high prices. And this is going to their budget. UNRWA is still getting assistance, and again, part of it going to the Hamas. And I can tell you that I know for sure that there is dozens of millions of dollars waiting for Hamas in Turkey, coming from Qatar and other places, and they are moving it slowly to the territories, to Gaza and to the West Bank. The money today is critical. We have to understand it. Why it's critical? People do not understand. It's critical because Sinwar and Hamas leaders, the only way to continue to control their people is to pay them the salaries. If the people will not get salaries, the motivation to continue will not be so high. It's not only ideology. There is a financial support. They are doing a lot of things because they are getting financial support, and they can give this money to their family to buy food, to do many, many things. So if Sinwar will not have financial sources, it will be very, very difficult for a long time to control all the forces. This is why the money is so important.
Given Hamas's complex financial infrastructure, do you believe that this could be an obstacle to dismantling the organization?
My opinion is very clear. You cannot dismantle Hamas without dismantle totally the financial infrastructure. Because, okay, you will kill Sinwar, you will kill the leader. So what? If Qatar and the other will continue to finance, we will find another generation, another people. There is enough people in Gaza Strip with the ideas of the Hamas that it will be very, very easy that they will enter to the shoes of the current leadership, and we will see them in the next 2, 3, 4 years to continue the campaign. The only way to change, in my opinion, to change it is not only to kill them, it's to eliminate dramatically the possibility of Hamas after the war, along the war, to get money. If we will do it, we have a good chance, but it will take many, many years. Because without the money, the Hamas will not have the possibility to continue to pay for many, many people and to buy them to be part of their cadres. So in my opinion, it's critical that we and the world will do something to eliminate dramatically the Hamas financial capabilities.
What can be done to cut its sources of income?
There is a lot of things that we can do, but tactically, but we cannot do it alone. Tactically, what we can do, it's to try to prevent, but there is not 100% closing all the channels to transfer the money to the Hamas, and specifically all the channels from the money changers, most of them in Turkey and in Lebanon. We can do a lot of operation against those money changer, and we can do many things against the money changer and the businessmen that working with those money changer outside in Gaza and the West Bank. This is one thing, we can do it. But practically, if we really want to do something, we have to do it in the international arena. First of all, is the world have to find the mechanism, and I believe that we can do it, to change the attitude regarding Qatar and Turkey. We have to understand one thing, and this is what I'm trying to convince people in the West and in the United States. You see Qatar financing Hamas, and you think that this is the only things that the Qataris do. No. The Qataris financing today almost all the radical elements all over the world. Terror and financial and radical Islamic infrastructure. They are doing it in Europe, in the United States, in Africa, in the moderate Arab world, all over the world. This is one thing. Secondly, you have to understand all the demonstration today done financing by the Qataris in the world. The universities that teaching for anti-Semitism and the anti-Western attitude financing by the Qataris. So it's not only against Israel, it's against all the system. So I understand very well that you have the interest because we are living in the capitalist world. But the Qataris' money that buy the West is the most dangerous for those countries because you are closing your eyes. You are allowed the Qataris to do so many things that are undermining all the society in your country, and you are not doing anything. So don't be surprised if tomorrow morning the money that's going to the universities, to the mosque, will be behind the attack or terrorist attack that will be done and take place in Europe. Just to remind you, a few days ago in Germany, how they revealed terrorist network belonging to the Hamas that prepared terrorist attack. And those people did it by using the civil infrastructure built by Hamas for many, many years, financed by Qatar and the Muslim Brotherhood for many, many years. And from that, they are preparing the attack in Europe. So one thing is to change the attitude. And most of the Hamas financial infrastructure and money is in the Qatar National Bank in Qatar. This is one thing. Secondly is Turkey. Turkey cannot continue to be the main hub for it's not only Hamas. This is the issue. It's not only Hamas. I can tell you for sure that in the civil war against Syria, the civil war, the Turkish support totally. The Al-Qaeda and Uzbat al-Ansar people, they're part of Daesh financially. And most of the money that goes from Qatar goes via Turkish institution. So it's not only against Hamas, they are totally support radical elements. So the world, first of all, has to change all the attitude regarding Qatar and Turkey. This is one thing. Secondly, Iran. Iran, because there is no real, let's say, fighting or enforcement of the sanction against Iran, they have the possibility to get a lot of money, and part of it going to finance Hamas, Hezbollah, all the radical elements in Iraq that fighting against everybody, the Houthis, everybody. So we have to do dramatically change regarding our fight against the sanction, or not against the sanction, to enforce the sanction. Nobody doing anything. And I can tell you for sure, because I know that everybody, all the world know very well where is the bank account of the Iranian, how they are circumventing the sanction, what they're doing, and everything. But there is no willing. There is no willing to do it. And what about the criminal activity of the Iranian and Hezbollah that financing terrorism again, and part of it going to the Hamas? I'm speaking about the drug trafficking, and I'm speaking specifically about the Captagon trades all over the world that jeopardize, really jeopardize the world, and especially the Arab world, and nobody doing anything. And Debbie, you have to understand, we are speaking about $30 billion per year. This is a lot of money. This is a lot of money, and part of it going to terrorism. So there is a lot of things that the world can do, but the willing. First of all, they have to change their mind and to understand that this is not a political issue. We are not speaking about it's not only between Israel and the Palestinian. No, it's against you, and the same money going finally to finance activity in your country. And one morning you will wake up and you will see that behind all this activity that you allowed, you are starting to get terror activity. So the world have to change their attitude. This is the most important thing. If they will not do it, it will be very difficult.
Thank you so much, Dr. Udi Levy, for being here today with the Media Line.
It's very important. I'm doing it from the bottom of my heart because it's very, very important. And I want that the world will understand, and even 1% will understand, that this is not the war between Israel and the Palestinians. This is the war between the evil and let's say the liberal world or the moderate world. I don't know how to call it. We are in the same boat, all of us, and we have to fight together. And thank you.